Estadio Romel Fernandez sits in Panama City, and tonight the quarterfinals of Scotiabank Concacaf League commence for Tauro FC, the homestanding side, and Club Deportivo Walter Ferretti making the move up from Nicaragua. Hello folks and welcome. Mike Watts with you. Excitement abound tonight as the rain is pouring down in buckets at the present moment. It'll just be a 13% humidity as we move throughout the game here, a rather chance of rain, but clearly, well, sometimes chance doesn't really mean reality. Rain is already falling, 77 degrees in Panama City. A look at the road to the Scotiabank Concacaf League trophy. Tauro, a team that has had good success in CONCACAF events in the past, sit in the upper right-hand corner of your screen as they defeated Real España in the opening round. Club Franciscan Martinique dropped in penalties by Club Deportivo Walter Ferretti in the opening round, as Motagua and Portmore United of Jamaica and Honduras waiting on the other end of the right side of the bracket. Well, if you think about this Walter Ferretti side, no conversation about the Nicaraguan teams in this tournament is complete without sending thoughts to those involved in the continuing socio-political event that's occurring in that country. They will not be able to play the second leg of the quarterfinal in their home country. Instead, they're going to have to play in Alajuela in Costa Rica. It's a good showing of good faith within the region that the Costa Ricans are allowing the Nicaraguans to come play in their venue, but it's disappointing nonetheless that this level of international club football won't reach Nicaragua this year. Certainly hopes that there's a clearer future and a brighter future in Nicaragua as things progress there. But this is a side that has not played in their league yet. There's questions as to when things will commence there. The fixture that was supposed to be played last week postponed against Juventus Managua on Thursday, and so they look forward with all their might to next Thursday's second leg in Costa Rica, hoping that they're able to get some kind of result here in Panama. This is a Nicaraguan side that's been very clear. They know they are the underdog in this undertaking. They nearly fell out of the tournament after 30 hours of travel to Martinique, falling on the road and going to Costa Rica, picking up a 1-0 win and going to penalties against a side that's made up of amateurs, if they are still the best of Martinique having to offer. For the Panamanian side, Tauro FC, well, let's be honest, the start of the Panamanian football season for them has been a giant disappointment. Just 2 points in their opening 4 games. They sit 10th on the table. No team in Panama has allowed more goals. They've given up 6. That's the negative. The positive, a absolutely dominating opening performance from Tauro FC to advance to this point. Certainly they have to have some level of confidence moving into this round as they're able to come away with the result they needed in the opening round, as the Panamanians beating Real España in the opening leg and then holding on in the second. But they really were the pioneering force in those 2 matchups, as Armando Polo had the game-winning goal, as it turns out, in the second leg. So it's Tauro FC of Panama at home at Estadio Romel Fernandez, a giant venue befitting a giant game for both these 2 teams. Tauro and Walter Ferretti of Nicaragua take the field. Anthem played, pomp and circumstance nearly in the rearview mirror as players meet on their way across this Tauro lineup as we meet the starting 11 for Juan Carlos Garcia. Oscar McFarland gets the call in goal. As Nino, Chara, Boteo, Aguilar, all well-known commodities, as well as Armando Polo, who is one of the great scorers in this tournament's young history. The game-winning goal in the Clausura campaign for Tauro as they were able to qualify in 2017 for this tournament. Tauro runners-up with the worst aggregate record in the 2017-18 Panamanian season. They finished runners-up Clausura campaign. And they have all the pressure on them to go get a good result in their home matchup, the opening leg in this two-legged quarterfinal series. The captains meeting, that's Edwin Aguilar and Dennis Espinosa, El Popo. As Melvin Matamoros of Honduras is the referee. Walter Lopez and Oscar Velasquez work the touchlines. Hector Martinez, another Honduran countryman, is the fourth official. A look at the lineup on the other side, the road side of Nicaragua, Club Deportivo Walter Ferretti. And all eyes on number 12 and number 13. Bruno de Moraes was not with this club during the round of 16. The Brazilian with great scoring ability and great creativity. A lot expected out of him from Henry Urbina in talking ahead of this quarterfinal matchup. While Rodrigo Hernandez has played in Nicaragua before Managua, but the Colombian makes his debut tonight for Walter Ferretti. The available subs for both sides, and well, it's a mixed bag to be frank. For Tauro, Justin Simmons, Jose Gomez, and Christian Quintero, not part of the 18 in either of their opening games. So unclear what to expect from them. For Walter Ferretti, again, Dexter Diaz, Jorge Ellis can say the same. They do have a bit of a silver bullet available to them, the 21-year-old forward, Danilo Zuniga. McFarland and Espinosa off to their goals. The rain is still falling in Panama City. It won't slow this matchup. The quarterfinals, Scotiabank Concacaf League 2018. Tauro FC at home at Estadio Romel Fernandez in Panama City, taking on the group from Nicaragua, Club Deportivo Walter Ferretti. The blue jerseys for Walter Ferretti. As Aguilar got a touch in this ball, fired from 20 yards out. As Hernandez helping up Rondo Polo. Polo, interesting, the biggest signing of the offseason. Club Deportivo Foz thought they had him locked up. It wasn't the case. Away by Espinosa. This will run out of the reach of Flores. Well, this field seems to be holding up okay, but it is waterlogged for sure. The rain has been pouring down in Panama City somewhat unexpectedly for a while now. Players were unable to warm up on the field. Instead, they were off on the sidelines preparing for the game in order to keep the pitch in top condition. Gonzalez knocking it through. Gutierrez. This is wide. It was touched on the way out, despite the argument of Espinosa. It is corner for Tauro. Well, that's a glaring overlap. Flores will reverse this upfield. That's going to stay in play. It's easy work for Gustavo Chara in the end. Oscar McFarland, the 37-year-old native of Panama City, knocks it ahead to Boteo. Tauro, a team that does try to possess the ball. Walter Ferretti's coach, Urbina, saying that there really are few, if any, weaknesses. This Tauro side referred to them as one of the best clubs in Central America. Tauro, a giant, compared to Walter Ferretti in many's eyes, entering this 2018 Concacaf League. Vargas, Nino. Vargas again started the year in Venezuela, came over in the transfer window. Chara. Chara overcooks this. And it's with Walter Ferretti. Well, they're the ones carrying the Nicaraguan flag. Universitario of Panama blowing out Diriangin in the opening round, 7-1 in the aggregate. It was Walter Ferretti who arguably got the best opening round matchup, but maybe the worst second round matchup. Being an amateur side in the opening round from the Caribbean, Martinique side, Club Franciscan, and then picking up Tauro. These last few years have made a bit of a name for themselves. It is a team that is advancing for the second consecutive year. Quarterfinal to take on Panamanian opposition. Last year they beat Belmopan of Belize 5-1. Bandits knocked out in the opening round, before falling eventually 2-1 to Plaza Amador. One of the biggest teams in Panama. Boteo. Bit of pressure coming now from Walter Ferretti. Flicked upfield. Now this ball knocked out. For a moment, Lopez was able to handle that. Service wound in. The header's in the goal. It won't count for Aguilar. A clear push in the back. Create that space and knock De Almeida onto the ground. The foul whistled here. That's an easy call for our referee. First time he's been called upon of the Matamoros. He's a regular Concacaf circuit. Wilson going back. Lopez. Ball steered aside by Vargas. Wilson has that sail wide. Well, that would have been a real shocker. The fans at Estadio Romel Fernandez are hiding the present moment, trying to stay dry. Sanchez for Polo. This is out for a corner. Corner for Tauro, the 7th minute. Going to put some pressure on Walter Ferretti. Polo over Aguilar. This is Gonzalez. Gonzalez got the cross away. Only as far as Chara. Chara towering over the Nicaraguan side. This is out. Gonzalez came up in a real tough neighborhood, had a goal, be a professional footballer, achieved it. Birthday back on July the 25th, but humility and sacrifice. Gonzalez, this is punched away by Espinosa. Quite the story, that. More ice. Second touch to that. It's with Tauro, who have held, as expected, the majority of the possession, majority of the early opportunities. It's blasted all the way out again, and Boteo move over. For Tauro, they come off a 2-1 loss to Universitario in their league play. Already what a struggle it's been. Just 2 points from their opening 4 games. They're 10th on a 10-team table. Gonzalez gets the cross in. Gutierrez steps forward, just 19 years old, playing at the left fullback spot. Sanchez, ball brought down, Munoz, handled by Espinosa. This is Munoz. Field from Wilson. Wete. Good touch by Lopez, but it's into the run. Panamanian midfield. Gonzalez looking to line this up. Gonzalez still, the slide came in, well done. Almeida. Still more work. Nino able to run this down. Play from Rigoberto Nino. Think back, Tauro was playing in the Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League earlier this year, defeated Dallas on away goals, but heavy defeat. Club America 7-1. Good interchange, Aguilar further now, Munoz out front, Aguilar cutting it back, and it's in! The goal belongs to Tauro in the opening minutes. And Jesus Gonzalez gives the Panamanians an early advantage in the quarterfinal. The vast majority of this game has been playing on the opposite side. But Munoz making a dynamic run through, and Aguilar, wonderful vision, nursing the ball all the way into the 6-yard area, then slipping it backward for a simplistic strike from Gonzalez. Gonzalez in the 12th minute, and Walter Ferretti is already on the ropes. truth, it's not that they've played bad, it's just they haven't had the ball, which to an extent was the expectation. Tauro is a team that can hold on to the ball and make life difficult. There's a foul here in midfield to bail them out a hair. So that's Hernandez to ground, the Colombian. Well, Walter Ferretti said the details and the depth of their attack was the focus into this quarterfinal. Only one goal against the amateur side they got paired up with in the opening round. Surely they wanted a better result as Aguilar gets spun around and immediately looks for a foul. Gutierrez, Sanchez, Vargas now. This is Chara, one-year-old center back who came in initially on loan. Hangs back toward Gonzalez. Aguilar's close by, Hernandez. Walter Ferretti was able to solve the riddle and able to play it lone forward at this point. Lonely times for Nagiri. Circling around Munoz. There's a lot of room out in front of Munoz here. Aguilar spins, surveys, Gutierrez. Going to be able to pick out the corner from that angle. Gonzalez, a goal scorer already. Lofting, Aguilar! Went up and over, and the goal won't count. Aguilar so good in the air. This is the second time in this game we've seen a goal of his called off. This over-aggressive play in the air. Flag up here for offside against Walter Ferretti. Team that finished way on the table last year, Nicaragua, for goals scored 5th most in the league. It's Polo, a nice bit of skill. Foul against Tauro. Extracurricular too, as Hernandez went to ground. Almeida puts it in play, the Brazilian center back. Nino, who's playing out wide right. A lot of experience in Champions League in Concacaf. Rabe and Nito before making the move over to Tauro. Really impressive in truth. He's a guy who can fly up the wing. Sturdily built too. Jose Munoz. Teo linking up. Nino. Gonzalez. Gonzalez, this takes a deflection on the way in and caught by Espinosa. While squirting forward, the pressure to Ferretti enough to force a throw out of it. watch this bounce out. Lopez used to play at Diriangen. 5th year now, Walter Ferretti. At this stage, you could argue that most of the action has occurred in the center third, vertically. Horizontally, it's been all over the place. Both wings down the middle. Aguilar goes up for a tough challenge. Neither came away with the ball. Have to be pleased at this point if you're Juan Carlos Garcia. He was named the coach in June. Goal being their 14th title. He started back in 1984. Has grown up into a real contender in this region. Aguilar knocked off the ball. Rice. It slipped through Bonilla. This ball shot and hit straight backward. Collision there. Flores whistled for the foul and it's a bit hobbled now. See Flores go in after that. Sort of extends through Gutierrez. Continue on, you see him there trudging. Look at his step there. Cross field from Sanchez. Lopez trying to play out. Wilson. More ice. Flores. Bonilla. Lopez. It's a pretty sturdy block and a defensive overload. Match the numbers that Walter Ferretti has brought. Wilson trying to chip this bit directly. Lopez. Kicked away from Flores. Carried on by Wilson. And Wilson launching a cross that's settled. And it's a penalty! It's a penalty against Tauro. Walter Ferretti will have a chance to level it. It's Aguirre who went down. Well, Nino probably should have done better getting back to this. The problem is once he does concede that ball down, he lunges back in with the ball already out of reach. And with Gustavo Chara charging in. It's an unforced error, really, from Nino and Tauro. An away goal for Walter Ferretti here. Borderline unimaginable the way this opening 20 minutes has progressed. How's this for an introduction to the team? Bruno de Moraes. His first game for Walter Ferretti. Chance to stamp an away goal to his opening fixture. Scotiabank Concacaf League. Bruno de Moraes in his debut. Dances, shoots, easy money for de Moraes. And Walter Ferretti levels it on the road, and with the away goal, they lead in the tie. look back at the penalty. Nino lunging in. And De Moraes says, "Can I have this dance?" Sends it by McFarland. And a stern celebration from the newcomer. 23rd minute. And the game is back on level terms. Well, how about this from Walter Ferretti? Mentioned it already, they don't get to play the second leg at home, and it's not a punishment, it's the reality of the socio-political situation in Nicaragua. The coaching staff speaking to that as this ball knocked ahead, deflected away from Munoz. Everybody's disappointed. The staff urging fans in Nicaragua to keep rooting for this team. Keep up their hopes. They're playing with a lot of eyes on them this evening. Driven ball long. Geary. It's all the way to the byline. It's Tauro now. Gonzalez for Gutierrez. Slips this through. The flag is up. Polo will finish anyways. Not that it'll count. 15 goals in 16 games in El Salvador last year. Wow. Wow. That is much tighter than anticipated. The way the line stepped made that look drastically more decisive. Vargas plays it ahead. Tauro on the 12th minute. Gonzalez, there was a lot of one-way traffic early. The response did come. A penalty drawn by Geary, converted by Moraes. And the attack is on for Tauro. And a leaping slide slows that pressure from Flores and Polo off to take a corner. Polo looks on. Ball for Aguilar. Attempted bicycle kick. Shara didn't get nearly enough of that. There have been some otherworldly finishes so far in this tournament, including in this quarterfinal round, be it the early stages. Goal by Arabe Anito. Final minutes against Club Deportivo Fas is stuff of legend if you go on to win a trophy. As the whistle went against Sanchez. Vargas able to deal with this. Lost it. Lopez slides in, and the foul on Hernandez. Walter Ferretti, a free kick, 27th minute. Samuel Wilson behind the ball. Real Esteli was a consistent double-digit goal scorer Nicaraguan national team for over a decade, Wilson. Chance to counter here with the explosive weapons of Tauro. It breaks down. This is the first of 2 games on the night. Staggered by 2 hours in the quarterfinal round. An hour and 26 minutes separate the current moment from the beginning of Portmore United at Motagua. Motagua, a heavy favorite there. This ball forklifted in the final third. Over toward Munoz. Walter Ferretti comes away with it as Gutierrez plays it aside. Gutierrez returned Nagua over the summer, 31-year-old defender. His first tournament on the international stage for club. Swipes this out to the left-hand channel. Wilson really does have the freedom to go wherever he pleases. Hernandez now. Pushing through, and this ball slotted through! And it's out from Flores. That ball tantalizing, but Flores really got the worst of this. Morais, we were told, has a special level of creativity to it. He's able to slot through Flores in a brilliant fashion. It looks like he gets a cleat to the calf of the attempt. Vargas goes in, last-ditch effort to clear this ball away. Gonzalez and Morais, the goal scorers, 12th and 22nd minute, as Tauro and Club Deportivo Walter Ferretti, 1 goal apiece. First leg of this quarterfinal series. And Aguilar, Munoz. Pressure building on Gonzalez. Amazing how far Walter Ferretti has come into this game over the last 15 minutes. There. Lopez trying to get back in the fan. Polo continuing his run, finally stopped. Foul from Walter Ferretti. Jesus Gonzalez, the goal scorer, who's in there. Physical challenge from Hernandez on Polo. This is what has the player down. Rice trying to hold on to possession there. It's a calm over on the Walter Ferretti bench. De Almeida pleading. Assistant assistant referee on the other side of the field. Looks like there's a continued argument here. Did De Almeida get sent off the field here? So he went over and argued. The referee gestured a moment ago. Yeah, it is a red card. De Almeida. Oh, this is crushing for Walter Ferretti. He's been their best defender so far. Oh, wow. This whole game has shifted. For what it's worth, in 35 starts last year, 14 yellows, but not one sent off. Gonzalez. Down by Chara. Referee simulated spitting. Wonders if it's some post-altercation extracurriculars. Still much to be figured out there. Aguilar knocking it wide. And this serve toward Vargas and caught by Espinosa. His job has become infinitely more difficult. Going to fire this out of play. He goes down. He's injured. Henry Urbina. This mountain has become measurably taller now. Espinosa, colloquially as the octopus, goes up for this, grabs it with two tentacles. You can see he's already buckling there a little bit. There's a reporter that went to his home. You can see Pulpo there on his glove on the right hand. They have stuffed octopus around the house, different colors that they pick up wherever they find them. Widely considered the best, among the best goalkeepers in Nicaragua. Now 34 years old, the last decade plus. He's trying to work out that right leg. Well, now seems like as good a time as any through what's happened to this point. Jesus Gonzalez capitalizing on a lengthy stretch of Tauro possession and attacking style football. Scores in the 12th minute. Wonderful work together by Aguilar, who's typically the goal scorer of that group. Walter Ferretti responded. Geary drawing a penalty. Morais, 22nd minute. As we look back at the first goal here, Aguilar making it simple for Gonzalez. Did score last year in Concacaf League. This is second goal in his time in the tournament. Made it 1-0 in the 12th. And then this, the penalty. Nino going in on a Geary, and the finish was cool and collected from Bruno de Morais. 1-1, and then to top all that off, Walter Ferretti is playing with 10 now after a red card was issued. Rafael De Almeida, Brazilian center back. So it does appear Espinosa will continue on. by Sanchez. Gonzalez laid off the ball. Sanchez. This is Boteo. Nino. Munoz. Boteo. Munoz. Chips this across for Aguilar. Throw for Walter Ferretti. You think back to Tauro's opening round in this tournament. Actually played in a smaller stadium, one that really was filled to the gills. Estadio Romel Fernandez was rented out for a concert. As the attack moving through Gutierrez. Polo, go back for Gonzalez. Gonzalez goes sliding in with Walter Ferretti. Estadio Romel Fernandez available here on the night. This is a team, Tauro, that typically plays and practices a synthetic surface. Really, it's difficult to imagine how waterlogged the field became pregame. Who, if anyone, really benefits the venue on the night? Nino steered aside, played through by Gonzalez, falls for Munoz. There's a foul. And a yellow card is shown here. Two Walter Ferretti players are still on the ground. Looked like the yellow came to Gonzalez. Gonzalez goes in here. Well, I think the frustrating part for Gonzalez is he gets his foot stepped on and then reacts in bringing it back down. That's one he's just going to have to eat. Gonzalez trying to keep this, Bonilla. Tapping further. It's away from Lopez for Walter Ferretti. Kept in by Huete. Teo from Nino. More ice. Penalty for Walter Ferretti in the 22nd, responding Gonzalez's goal in the 12th. Aguilar. It's with Walter Ferretti again. More ice goes to ground. Got his left boot stomped on there inadvertently by Boteo. Able to keep this. Crowd cheering with approval as Munoz finding Gonzalez. Munoz, this is slid backwards defensively and cleared by Espinosa. Walter Ferretti playing with 10 since the 33rd minute. Haven't looked all that much worse for the wear. Ball slipped through. Maybe a chance here. Aguilar and nobody on the back post. Ball played ahead by Sanchez. Another sliding challenge. Leave this in the corner. service, header snap down, the shot is up and in from Polo, and Tauro retakes the lead. The little flick on was too much for Walter Ferretti to handle, and Polo roofs it in the 43rd. That's a great flick from the center back, Vargas. And it was a touch aside, right into the middle of things. Espinosa left it simple for Polo in the end. Goal comes in the 43rd. While Walter Ferretti does have a road goal, it's tough to understate that. They do trail 2-1. Goes off the heel of D. Ice. Not only that, they're playing with 10. And now so is Tauro with an injury on the field. Walter Ferretti continues on. Run for Lopez, he won't get here. Munoz able to get it through. Polo held. Espinosa. Keep the attack going. Flores goes to ground. Gutierrez push that forward. Four minutes at a time. Tauro trying to tack on another here. Polo's running down the middle. Munoz has to like defense, but Munoz recovers. Chips it ahead for Aguilar. Huete. Ball knocked ahead. Polo, it's out of his reach. Catch it at the byline either. Tauro defeating España in the opening round of 16 segment of this tournament. It's the offside flag up against Polo as well. Correct call. Tight, correct. Polo. Sanchez, excellent ball ahead. There's a save, but the flag is up. Offside. Aguilar got down really nicely, but his run was offside. Again, the correct call. touch onward. Return to Polo. Sent out to the far touch line. Ball lifted. Aguilar heads it back in. That is a dangerous and yet brilliant defensive technique. Hey, it's brilliant when it works out. Vargas. A minute of first half stoppage time. So Ferretti would love to get to the dressing room at this stage. Munoz. Teo. Munoz. Rice. A lot of help there in the attack. Flores has Char running the wrong way. Teo on the deflection. Final seconds of the first half. Gutierrez slid ahead. Gutierrez is there. Ball brought down. Nia really needs to move forward at this stage. Referee will blow for halftime. Halftime in Panama City, and boy, does that image sting your retina. That is one dirty goalkeeper. Picked up a knock early, beaten twice by this Tauro attack. Came in as the favorite. There is a road goal for Walter Ferretti, and so there is hope. But Polo and Gonzalez score in the opening half for Tauro in Panama City at halftime. Tauro 2, Walter Ferretti 1. first half highlights from Panama City and Estadio Romel Fernandez. It's the home-standing Tauro FC of Panama, and the roadside hailing from Nicaragua, Club Deportivo Walter Ferretti. We move into the 12th minute of play. The first goal would occur. A couple chances, really half chances at best, that occurred beforehand. This from Polo ends up getting knocked out. It would result in a corner. You see the early and extensive efforts against Espinosa. Shot that's easily handled from Jose Munoz. As Juan Carlos Garcia willing his team forward. And this is where the magic happened. When Aguilar sees that the whole world is shifting in one direction, and it's the trailing run, Jesus Gonzalez in the 12th minute, that allows Tauro onto the board first. 1-0 lead in the opening quarter hour, exactly what the home side was looking for on this evening. All taken in the end, and for Gonzalez, it's his first of the tournament. The response 10 minutes later. It's a penalty conceded by Nino and finished by Bruno de Moraes. The Brazilian making his club debut for Walter Ferretti. Finishes and makes it 1 goal apiece. Or a couple opportunities that looked pretty decent. But take a look at this. There's a red card handed out. This went to Rafael de Almeida. Still not entirely sure what the reason was for that, as it occurred a bit out of our view. This, the second goal for Tauro. Rondo Polo's not going to get many easier than this. Drives it into the upper netting. Plenty of venom. And it's 2-1 in favor of Tauro at the halftime whistle. Disappointment from this Walter Ferretti side. Have to play with 10 and down by a goal as they head into the second half. We look at halftime statistics, and Tauro only a slight possession advantage. That may be a bit surprising, but their possession was certainly stronger than Walter Ferretti's, more in the Walter Ferretti half. And in the end, Walter Ferretti's only shot on target was that penalty. And so, Tauro FC, with a significant number of fouls, a little advantage in possession, a notable advantage in their efficiency in the attack. Hold a 2-1 lead at halftime. Estadio Romel Fernandez in Panama City. Change for Tauro at halftime as they bring on Ivan Anderson. His second year with the club, the 20-year-old gets a chance to shine here. Tauro leading by 2-1 over Walter Ferretti at halftime. Replaces Rigoberto Nino, who committed the penalty that really provided a first-half lifeline to a team that otherwise was somewhat lifeless through 45 minutes. Melvin Matamoros waiting in midfield for the signal, giving you just enough time to crowd around and get ready for this second half of play. Let's do it. Second half in Panama City. Tauro 2, Walter Ferretti 1. The Nicaraguan side have that crucial away goal in the first of two legs. In this quarterfinal round in 2018 Scotiabank Concacaf League. You think about how the bracket shapes up in Concacaf League this year. And really it was a clean start for Walter Ferretti in theory as they got Club Franciscan of Martinique. That was considered the easiest outcome, but boy, the amateur side brought their best. Ended up winning the opening leg. Ended up going to penalties, and that's where the pros really showed their mettle in the end. They're playing with 10 here tonight on the road away to Panama City as they try and advance on to this next round of Scotiabank CONCACAF League. Meanwhile, take a look at the foul. Gustavo Chara with the challenge. You think about how Tauro got here, and Real España, one of the best teams in Honduras. Honduran teams always among the favorites in this tournament. That's a foul throw. Belongs to Anderson. Aguilar scored in the opening leg. Polo scored in the road leg. Gave Tauro some serious breathing room. Would have required 3 from Real España. They got 1 around the halftime whistle, but it wasn't enough. Tauro won it 2-1 in the aggregate to arrive to this quarterfinal. Ball hit back, and Hernandez playing it forward. The holding midfielder from Colombia has shifted all around the field, 13 in blue, but it is with the red card in the first half to Rafael de Almeida. And he sort of dropped in a little bit further and is almost playing like an extra center back right now. Make up an account for his loss. Trying to get around the outside, trouble brewing. This will deflect out wide to Bonilla. Flores, who's had a bit of a roller coaster performance. It's going to belong with Walter Ferretti here. And Manuel Gutierrez, who has played with Managua and Dirianjan, as well as Walter Ferretti in Nicaragua. The late game this evening, it's the only time this week, doubleheader in this quarterfinal round. Matches Motagua and Portmore United. Aguilar looking for the return. It'll come from the Estadio Andino in Tegucigalpa. The second leg will end up in Kingston, Jamaica at the National Stadium. Earlier on in this quarterfinal round, Arabe Anido keeping Panamanian hopes alive for a long-awaited tournament title. 1-0 win in their opening leg against Foss. Anderson has created room and shipped the cross in. Come out to Flores. And then how about Herediano of Costa Rica? After Santos de Guapolis get crashed out in the first round, the Costa Rican group, great pride to the Tico fans with a 3-0 drubbing of Universitario in Heredia, knowing that The second leg will go to Estadio Agustin Sanchez next. This ball tapped through by Aguilar and blasted out by Jesse Lopez before any real damage could start. So it is a corner now for Tauro. Armando Polo. Polo to the near post. Header is up and over the crossbar from Aguilar. Making one of those cruising diagonal runs. Lost the mark because of the effort of Gustavo Chara, almost setting a pick on that cut across run. Edwin Aguilar. And Espinosa again, slow to continue this. Looks like there's going to be a change. Well, this is, well, it's bad news for Walter Ferretti. Jadziel Mendoza only started one game last year for Walter Ferretti in league play. He was unused, got a free ticket, best spot in the stadium 42 times. Now Mendoza gets thrust into this scenario. And there has to be at least some question why Espinosa continued on for these first 6 minutes of the second half. Maybe he felt like he could continue on, but at the end of the day, Mendoza will come in cold off the bench. That is the first substitute used by Walter Ferretti, who've been playing with 10 men since a red card in the 33rd. How early will Mendoza be tested? Ball laid up on the left-hand side by Gonzalez. The service, Polo, as it sailed by him. It's Sanchez, who spent a brief time in Major League Soccer with DC United. Polo trying to force his way through, and a last-ditch effort by Huete. Put that out for a corner. Well, this second half is all going to be about Walter Ferretti proving just how badly they want this. Down to 10 and underdog to begin with, on the road. Pitch conditions are poor due to the early onslaught of rain. Service whipped in, ball knocked down by Mendoza, and knocked back out by Lopez. Cross is off the top of the net. It's out for a goal kick. That came in with a lot of swerve. Jesus Gonzalez didn't miss that by very much. Wow. Almost drove that right into the corner. Truthfully, I don't know that Mendoza would have been able to save it if it had dipped under the crossbar. Put in play here by Huete. Year number 2 of Scotiabank Concacaf League. 16 of the very, very best from the Concacaf region, hailing from the Caribbean and Central America. The winner finds their way into Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League and picks up one of those oft-dreamed about, extraordinarily difficult to attain international club trophies in this region. Some teams with real significant history in this tournament this year. Impressive field. The tough thing when you think about the grand scheme of the Concacaf region is Mendoza will chip this back toward the touchline. This is really calm, Walter Ferretti. And a foul from Chara. He's shown a yellow card. So the yellow card does come out for Chara. He's the second player on the field right now for Tauro, playing on a caution. Goes through dangerously. You think about it, Parazeladon was a champion in the Apertura in Costa Rica in 2017. McFarland backing into his goal. Flores has this slid away from him and out. Universitario champions, but a worse aggregate record, didn't qualify for the Champions League. Real España champions, Walter Ferretti and Dirianjan champions, Belmopan of Belize champions. Well, nothing about that looked quite right for Walter Ferretti. At the end of the day, this CONCACAF League format just opens the door a little bit wider. Instead of allowing 24 teams to take part, it's now 31 have their chance at continental glory, and in the end, potentially a trip to the Club World Cup. It's a noble ambition for CONCACAF to improve the region on the whole. Looking in, knocked aside by Aguirre. Aguirre really could have had a go at that if he wanted it. Lopez will chase this out. Urbina saying he tried to encourage veterans to lead against the side from Martinique. The opening round, surely a similar message in the dressing room at halftime. Walter Ferretti have all in all impressed given the circumstances. But they also admitted they have to play an almost perfect game, get a win, Panama City. Has proven out pretty clearly. Slid through by Sanchez. There was no advantage to be played there. Sanchez went down. There's the challenge. This slick turf causing this to be a little bit worse than otherwise would. Munoz off the back of Edwin Aguilar. brought down by Gutierrez. Tauro loading up in the 60th minute. Polo plays it wide, ball for Aguilar. Polo got there first. It's a goal kick. By Mendoza. This ball hit by Sanchez, pounded to ground by Mendoza. I was just thinking, why is Tauro not even tested Mendoza yet? 24. He has started about 30 games for Juventus Managua over 2-3 years there. Only played one game last year. If I see a guy come in off the bench 5 minutes into the second half, I'm at least making it difficult. Polo brings this down, and he just missed sneaking it inside the post. Some of these runs from Tauro have been dynamite. They've been playing on the back shoulder for much of the night, even in these tighter positions. Polo showing that class, elevated up. Couldn't elevate it into the net. Attack on now for Tauro. This ripped wide of the left-hand post. Well, someone heard the message. Polo and Gonzalez for Tauro. Timor Ice, the lone goal scorer for Walter Ferretti in the 63rd minute at Estadio Ramel Fernandez in Panama City. Polo trying to find a third. And poked out by Huete. Boteo. Polo on the turn. Sliding defense from Lopez. Johan Bonilla flutters to ground. Geary coming back to the ball. He and Lopez weren't together on this, but Gonzalez pushing by Walter Ferretti. Winner of this matchup eventually will see either Motagua or Portmore United. They're playing in the back half of what is a Concacaf League two-window doubleheader. Quarterfinal round. Walter Ferretti, if they can find a second away goal, would feel actually pretty good about this outcome. Wilson. Wilson coming after it. Frustration from Aguilar. Thought that that had been a handball. Lopez. Lopez, nice little build up here. tail, steered him wide. That was a lot of running from Lopez, only to give up the ball, and it's a foul against Gonzalez. Lopez was lucky that it was. Transversed most every blade of grass on the field en route to that forearm shove to the back. Cross field. Gutierrez. Maybe still something from this. Away by Sanchez. As far as Polo. Stabbed aside, but carried by Gonzalez. He scored in the 12th minute. Ball for Aguilar. This is a card, a yellow coming for the handball. Manuel Gutierrez. The second incident of discipline to this point, the red card, De Almeida, and now this yellow card in the 66th minute of play. Referee looking to allow a change here. This is Justin Simon coming on. Simon's first appearance in Concacaf League this year. Gonzalez comes out, the goal scorer. Walter Ferretti makes a move. Jason Castellon comes on. And that's enough for Christian Flores. Set piece for Tauro, steered aside by Mendoza. First time he's been called upon on the night. Stepped up admirably. Foul and a player down, and the newly minted forward for this group. Bruno Morais. Trying to help it the other way. Ivan Anderson went in there, swung through. Chance for everybody to take a bit of a breath here. But for Walter Ferretti fans, they're going to be holding it for at least a little while here. Morais, who really doesn't have that great a pedigree necessarily, but he's had a couple unlocking balls in this game so far. 3 balls that really had eyes to them. And he's carried off the field on a stretcher, hopefully not for long. Trying to get himself back up and moving. Comes from Serie D in Brazil. Mendoza's second year with Walter Ferretti as the understudy to Espinosa, who went down an injury. Kitman's going to have a lot of jerseys to clean up tonight. Back to Mendoza. Turns it away from Polo. That's good distribution. How about this? Right back onto the field. Rice helping to lead this charge. Gutierrez. That's too far. Stay on. To Irvin Aguirre. Wilson. Kept alive here again. Brazilian slid aside from Gutierrez. 70 minutes complete. Estadio Romel Fernandez in Panama City. Wonderful venue. It's hosted some just enormous games in Panama over the years. This night, Tauro and Walter Ferretti of Nicaragua locking horns. Their team really looking overmatched. As the whistle goes against Bonilla. Polo and Gonzalez for Tauro. Nice for Walter Ferretti. Walter Ferretti has been playing down to 10 men since the 33rd minute and have conceded just once in that time, the 43rd goal by Polo. Munoz, key. Night may be ending in a moment. Karski has moved toward the fourth official. Service toward the back post is lofted out from Sanchez. It is Munoz coming out. And Adalberto Carrasquilla comes in, the Panamanian Youth International. Carrasquilla was looked at by Benfica, Portugal, a couple of years ago. Ended up being unsigned, but he's highly celebrated in the youth ranks, and a guy that, to be frank, saw the starting lineup and was surprised he wasn't in it. Admitted at the outset. Ball driven directly. McFarland, the edge of his area. From Sanchez. Tauro. Possession about even at halftime. They give it away this time. Really low block from Walter Ferretti, but they turn it over in their effort to move upfield. Sanchez. Lanaga wide. Aguilar. So get as far as Carrasquilla. Lays it through. Polo is there. Chipping across. Header is up and over from Aguilar. Everything about that screamed breakthrough for Tauro, except, of course, the final result. Polo kept on side by Lopez, the outside back on the far side, chipping this through, and well, Aguilar's had 2 goals taken off the board by his own overexertion in aerial duels. this time. Lopez battling that out. Lopez, he nearly got his head to that defender. There's a player down, Walter Ferretti. Mendoza helping out with the stretching. The athletic training staff called on. Will allow play to continue. If you're Walter Ferretti, what is a 2-1 deficit if you make it through the final 15 minutes unscathed here? It's a road goal. It's very much plausible going into the second leg in Alajuela, Costa Rica, as it was Lopez that was down. Dream scenario? Probably not. But manageable? Absolutely. Anything you get from here is gravy if you're Walter Ferretti. If you find another goal and finish this at 2-2 with 2 road goals, I don't think there's a person in Nicaragua who would say no to that right now. Ball knocked in front, and Mendoza dives out to clear. Away from Aguilar. This ball ripped over the crossbar. Side by Chara, who's been steady as ever. Edwin Aguilar, Sanchez, Carrasquilla. The overlap came. Anderson. There is a foul. It was late, but Bonilla got hampered. Jorge Alice is standing by the 4th official here. Jorge on the spot. Oh, come on. Don't check that. He'll have to wait. Looked ready to go. But, anywho, Tauro continues with 12 minutes plus stoppage. Sanchez. Clearance deflects. Tauro maintains. Service for Polo. Polo! Offside. Polo was offside from the very beginning. Lopez has his card on the board. I think this could be the end. Number over with the 4th official. Got carried off in the end. Well, the injuries for Walter Ferretti, staggering. Espinoza, their goalkeeper. Now they're well-traveled outside back. Jesse Lopez. And a red card to their central defender, Rafael de Almeida. And somehow, out of this back five, only 2 remain. Elise comes on. And Lopez is done. Carrasquilla. Not a lot of intent behind that. Ferretti trying to hold serve for a moment. It's away from Gutierrez. Less than 10 minutes to play, plus stoppage. Estadio Romel Fernandez in Panama City. Free kick for Walter Ferretti. This will actually spin out for a throw for Tauro. Or Fuente. More ice. That crucial road goal, and Walter Ferretti hanging on. Down to 10 men. Scooped up. Ball for Sanchez. This is caught. And there's a point to the spot. It's a handball against Walter Ferretti. Tauro, a penalty in the final 10 minutes, could make it 3-1. There's an appeal over to the AR. Not sure I have an answer for this. I don't think it was there. The argument is that Rodrigo Hernandez got that with his left arm. That's headed down. Well, a bit of controversy now. Edwin Aguilar has trusted a goal scorer, as there is, for Tauro. Could make it 3-1. Aguilar staring down Mendoza. Aguilar puts it in. It's 3-1 to the Panamanian side. There's the penalty. And the finish from Aguilar. Not his first rodeo. Aguilar last year was asked in the press, how many goals do you think you're going to score this year? Leading man for Tauro, you think you can get 15 again? Said he never wants to promise, but yeah, he was looking for 15 or more. He finished with 14. Did score a couple giant goals against Dallas. Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. I mean, Tauro history has been written by that man. It's going to be a yellow card here. Justin Simons a yellow card in the 85th. More than anything, it looks like he loses his footing, more so than goes into that challenge with all that much intent. But he comes in there just blazing speed. Tauro kept this in. They created some trouble for themselves. Bonilla get around. Rice didn't draw the call. Polo kept in play. Simons. Straight red card. A straight red. And this referee being berated by Walter Ferretti. Walter Ferretti's down to 9 now. Simons is back to his feet. If you mistime that, that's a big problem. Could be said for both those challenges. And this feels like confirmation. Jason Castellon. Like, it is Castellon, 86th minute, and the wheels have officially fallen off the Nicaraguans. Now the question is, Tauro will find another. Gosh, you make graphics and you wonder when you're ever going to get them in, but playing with 9 men, that's a Walter Ferretti problem right now. Short of midfield. This is a whistle against Tauro. And Jason Castellon, he's in, he's out in the second leg. I don't know that that's really relevant. Rafael de Almeida, that's a real blow. That red card's the one that's going to resonate. There's a player down for Walter Ferretti and an appeal to have a stretcher brought out. Series is going to turn Alajuela in Costa Rica in a week's time. The second leg will be played on August the 30th. Estadio Eladio Rosabal Cordero. And Heredia in Costa Rica as the Nicaraguans unable to host. Injuries being what they are. Walter Ferretti now playing with 8 on the field. And their reserve goalkeeper who came on due to an injury to Espinoza. See how quickly Walter Ferretti can get their injured man back. if there's a late goal from Walter Ferretti, you can take a lot of positive out of this game, but it won't come with service like that. Tauro shoving everybody forward now. All knotted backwards off the service from Anderson. Five minutes at a time. Tauro should feel pretty good at 3-1. Pushing into the area, Simons. Simons here. Ball crossed by Chara. Three major attacking threats in the area. Karaskia wanted to go for goal. Tauro's doing this at the expense of their league campaign so far. This service brought down by Aguilar, plays it back, and Sanchez, this ricochet out. It will be a corner for Tauro. They try and cash in one more time against the nine-man side of Walter Ferretti. Ball whipped in for Chara, who commits a foul. Nicaragua's light nearly extinguished in this tournament. They have to battle back from a heavy deficit. Costa Rica there to avoid kind of outcome that Dirianjan felt in the opening round. For Tauro, well, Panama does have reasons to be excited right now. Universitario, or the artist formerly known as Chirrillo as it might be, well, they're not a reason to be excited. They're down 3-0 there at Arellano. But Rabanito beat Club Deportivo Fas, a real giant in this tournament. Tauro appears to be walking away with a victory. The opening leg at home against Walter Ferretti. And right now, you'd have to say that Panama is the country that can take the most away from their early performance positively in this tournament. All that said, those two teams, they've only played 3 games. There's a long way to go. It's a bit promising. Bonilla. There's just absolutely nobody there. Farland's got it, fires it out the other way. Walter Ferretti just looks gassed. Simons. Arm got up high. Whack to the face of Manuel Gutierrez. Walter Ferretti right now is absolutely begging for this to be done. Driven away, Huete. Boy, there's nobody there. Tauro loading up one more time. Can they find a fourth goal? Send these fans home with one last beat of excitement against 9-man Walter Ferretti. Slip ball through to the byline, cut back across behind Aguilar. Will be a corner. Teeing this up, ball for Chara, caught by Mendoza. That should send us to full time. Tauro withstands some pressure from Walter Ferretti, but in the end, the Panamanian side at home takes care of business as Edwin Aguilar is named the man of the match. He had the assist on the opening goal, and he gets a penalty in his direction at the end. And he's able to calmly take, and it's his finish, the captain, that gave Tauro the end in their 3-1 advantage. Demoralized from the penalty spot. Gonzalez, Polo, and Aguilar for Tauro. And the Panamanians head to the second leg next week up 3-1. For our entire team, Mike Watts saying thanks for watching and good night from Panama City.
Go.